Hey everybody, it is Thursday. I almost said May 2nd. What the hell? No, it's June 2nd. June. Yikes. Okay, so my last few videos. Wow. I was not expecting the response that it's gotten. I can actually go onto the YouTube app right now and tell you that my last two videos have gotten 160 and 188 views, and no video of mine has gotten over 100 views since... I can't even find the last one that had over 100 views. Wow, I have to go way back to... Thanks. Shows volume now. I go back to December 13th, 2020 to find my last video that had over 100 views, and my last two have over 150. That's unbelievable. So for those of you who have watched my videos, hopefully they have some kind of effect on you, whether it be positive or negative. Well, I mean, I hope it's not negative, but you know what I mean. It's just these last two videos. The one was talking about my friend who unfortunately lost his life to taking his own life back in 2016, and that was the very first time I had told anybody ever like that story. Like, legitimately never even journaled about it, never told anybody about it, never told my best friend about it, never told a therapist about it, never told anybody, never typed it in my laptop, nothing. I mean, the very first time I ever talk about that, somebody I think about every single day. Like, I thought about him this morning when I woke up. I woke up this morning and I heard the train horn down the street. And pretty much every time I hear a train horn, I think of him. And it might be a little pathetic that, you know, that even sparks a memory for me. But, you know, I just think about him. And not so much the negative memories, just the positive. You know, not the memory of him taking his own life via train, but the positive memories of what that video talked about. That video, my God, though, I cried a lot. So, you know, if you want to go back and watch that video, awesome. But not awesome, but like, go right ahead. But also keep a box of tissues right next to you and like a bottle of water to keep hydrated, because chances are you're going to cry. If you don't cry, because, I mean, you don't have a personal attachment to that person like I did, but just the story itself can bring some emotion up. Oh man, I'm gonna get crying right now. Don't do that. Because today, this is a weird way to shift gears. Let me try to segue a little bit, so I'm just not diving right into it off of that. So to this week, since I talked about that 2 weeks ago, and then last week 2 videos ago, jeez, focus. 2 videos ago I talked about that. Last video, which I think was 2 weeks ago, I talked about how I might have cancer, and I'm still going through the process of figuring that all out. I got the CT scans done. They didn't really show much in the way of, like, we can't definitively say yes or no, so I'm doing another procedure, and I think it's going to be another month before I get that procedure done. But it is basically a colonoscopy for the front side, if you catch my drift. So they're sneaking a camera not through the back, they're sneaking a camera through the front. Not looking forward to it, but luckily they gave me an anesthetic in the front, so it's not, I have to be awake for it, but it's not, they said, like, you won't feel it, like, you'll feel pressure, but you won't feel pain. I was like, I feel like I'm going to feel pain, because that's it, they're sticking a camera where cameras shouldn't go. Yeah, so they're going to check out the insides and see how everything's doing. But still have no, like, definitive explanation, and, you know, I even, like I said, I started a GoFundMe against my own better judgment, just because I already had my insurance call me and say, like, you know, one of these medical bills won't be covered because it's not, like, an emergency situation. I'm like, how is checking for cancer not an emergency situation? So, or, like, a medically necessary thing, and so I'm already fighting my insurance a little bit here, and it's just not... It hasn't been a fun year so far, so I'm trying to get things switched over to being more optimistic, being more, I have a roof over my head, I have good friends, I have a car, I have insurance, I have a job. Try to look at the positives, but the negatives, holy shit, it hurts every time I pee. So like, the negative, it really, really hurts, so it's really hard to to look at the positives when I got that going on. Sorry for the TMI. So let's dive into what this video is going to be about, which is going to be, it's going to be kind of random. I know most of my videos are because I don't like script anything. I wasn't looking at my phone for like notes. I was looking at my phone to make sure I have my timer on, so I watch my battery length here. It'll only last 20 minutes at a time. I don't script anything. I just have my light here and I have my camera in front of me, and that's it. It's just me, myself, and I. That's really cold. my medallion for my dog tag hit my chest. Like, well, that is freezing cold. Because I have my fan on above me. Good old Chicago weather. Okay, so I need to calm down because I'm a little amped up. I'm a little amped up because I went back to protein shakes a week ago that I had gone on 2 years ago to lose some weight. And since just a week ago, I've lost 3.4 pounds, which is not a whole lot, but it's a lot more than the past like 3 months combined. I've lost, 3 months combined I've lost, or 2 months combined I've lost like 4 pounds up until last week, and then I lost 3. So I was like, boom. Yeah, I'm a little amped up. I just had coffee. That didn't help. But I've also been up since like 2 a.m. and it's 10. So it's a whole lot of things. Right after I'm done with this video, I'm going to work out before I upload. Yeah, I've been able to get into workouts again. I'm slowly but surely building up some muscle. It is pathetic right now how little muscle I have, but I have not been able to work out in months. Do I do that one for the camera? No, I'm not going to do it this week. I'll do that next week. I'll show you what my workout is next week, because I can only do arms. I can't do, I mean, I could do stuff for my legs, but like, my doctor told me like you can do stuff for your legs per se for the surgery recovery, but for my spine, being like what it is, probably shouldn't do anything for the legs right now. So I've just been doing arm stuff. I looked up, I actually have a good workout regimen that's working. I do it every day. And like I said, my arms have been getting, I've been feeling a little stronger, I've been feeling more energetic, and there's one exercise I absolutely love doing. I've been doing it since I was 15. It's good. I learned how to do it from my golf coach, actually. It literally does nothing for you except strengthen your forearms, but it is an incredibly rewarding exercise. I don't think I can do it sitting down. I'll do it next week. Basically you tie, well, I built mine for like $7. You can buy it. I think they sell a kit at like Target for like $30. But you can literally build it with a piece of rope, a dowel rod, and a 5-pound weight. That's the weight I'm on right now. I used to be able to do it 10 pounds with ease. That's back when my forearms were a lot stronger. I'll work my way back up to that because I tried doing 10 pounds the other day and it was the worst idea of my entire life. I'm like just coming off carpal tunnel surgery in October where like I'm just starting to hit 100% and I tried that shit. That was stupid. Because basically you tie a weight, you tie rope around, well, the one that I built, you tie rope around a weight, a dumbbell basically. And then you tie the other rope. I drilled a hole through a dowel rod and I fed the rope through it and I tied a knot on the other side so it can't pull through. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. A little too much energy today. And you, here, I can actually just grab it. I have a nice shirt on and I have sweatpants. Just don't, you can judge all you want. I don't really care. I try to wear a nice shirt because that's all you see in the video, but I just got up and now you see I'm wearing sweatpants. So, But yeah, so it looks like this. So I built this. I mean, I didn't really build it. It's just rope and a dowel rod and a weight. That's all. But yeah, so I knotted this above the dowel rod, drilled a hole in it, and then, ow, just hit myself in the stomach. Got the 5-pound weight. I've knotted it like 17 times because I still haven't figured out how to tie a proper knot that just doesn't undo itself. And basically what you do is you hold the dowel rod up in front of you and you twist it up, twisting forward. Well, I can't do it sitting down. Well, I mean, you're supposed to hold your arm straight out in front of you like this, but I just don't want to hit my camera. And then you twist backwards. Twist it back down to the ground. And, yeah, that one's, oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting down, so it's not, like, straight out in front of me, so it's a little easier. But yeah, that one works the forearms like crazy. So I highly recommend doing that one. Like I said, they sell this at Target. I don't know what it's called. Forearm twist up or something. I don't know, something like that. Holy shit! 10 minutes of talking, and I haven't talked about what I want to talk about, which is just fun stories. I wanted to have a laugh today, just because I've been super serious lately, being on what I consider a mental health challenge. I can't. Like, slow down, please, just slow down a little bit. I need my mind to slow down just a teensy bit. Okay, what I consider a mental health channel, because I do talk about, mental health and mental illness in a general sense. I talk about it, how I deal with it on my own. I talk about what my friends have gone through. I talk about tragic? I swear I'm not dumb. Like, I have 140 videos. You can go back and through them Oh, why am I dumb today? What's happening? Too much energy. I don't know what is happening to me. You can go back through them and try to find some instances where, I actually seem very intelligent. I'm sure I have a few. I don't know. But anyways, I consider this a mental health. I'm sorry. I just said a mental health. I consider this a mental health. Oh my, I can't. I might just end this video right now. I can't even get to what I'm already 13 minutes in. I can't even get to what I'm trying to. I consider this a mental health channel. Why do I want to keep saying challenge? Channel. But I do want to have instances where we talk about just some fun stuff. Just have a laugh. You can laugh at the misery of me not being able to talk because I'm talking too fast, which is my number one flaw. Of all the flaws that I have, number one is that I talk too fast. Number two is I talk too much. Didn't realize that I talked too much until last year, and I'm getting to see a psychiatrist and see if I have autism. That was a video that I made a few months ago, because I didn't even realize that I had I'm constantly told I talk too much, like I am right now, but I don't really realize it until somebody points it out, and then even then I'm like, have I been? And they're like, you're joking with, you're fucking with us, right? I'm like, no, I don't realize it. So yeah, so we'll see if that comes to be anything either, but I'm trying to do one thing at a time, and I got 9 things going on right now, so it's kind of impossible to do one thing at a time, so I'm just trying to tackle all of them, just saying, fuck it, let's just get all these things tackled all at once. But I just want to tell a couple funny stories from my past that I thought about 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I thought about them 2 weeks ago, and they're funny to me. They might not be funny to you, but it was just, they're funny instances where I was working at the deli, years ago when it was still open. Oh god, I miss that place so much. I can't wait to get my food truck going. Hopefully I can get that going in a few years. Bring that food back, because it's so good. The food is so fucking good. Sorry for that weird noise. Wow, you guys are getting a real good glimpse into how I am, on a normal basis when I'm not necessarily in a great mood, but just when I'm just, I've been jabbering for 14 minutes and I really haven't said anything of substance yet. But that's how most videos are, I think. I think I have 12 that I've actually, gone from start to finish with all of it being useful. Or meaningful or whatever. Anyways, back at the deli, pretty much all of my coworkers knew from when I came out in 2010. I think they knew right in 2011, right at the beginning of 2011, they figured out that I was bi. And then when the new owners took over in 2014, they figured out very quickly, because I was dating someone at the time. I don't know. Something happened where they figured it out. Oh no, that's not how they figured it out. We're not going to talk about that right now. Let's just say a situation happened, may or may not have happened, and they figured it out that way. Certain event happened, even in this room, where they found out. Anyways, yeah, this room holds a whole lot of bad memories. So when I move out of this place, I might ask my parents if I can burn this room to the ground, because this room holds a whole lot of bad memories. But anyways, so when I was working at the deli, they all knew that I was bi. So like, gay jokes were pretty easy to make because we sold sausages, and we, I love to make the cucumber salad. So they would hold up the cucumbers and be like, I'm like, like, guys, like, it's food. Don't make food not fun for me anymore. Like, because this is back when I had a gallbladder. This is back when I couldn't gain a pound to save my life. Like, this is back when I could eat like 5,000 calories a day and lose weight. Like, I mean, it was an unbelievable time where I miss it so much. I don't think I ever weighed more than 160 pounds before 2017, and then that's when I ballooned up to 240 almost, after I had my gallbladder removed. But, so the gay jokes flew around a lot. I never minded them because it was just all in fun. But, and I told my current workers, oh my god, I told my current coworkers recently this, and they were like, okay, like, because I have a good relationship with my coworkers, with a couple of them that are like my sisters, that, I can pretty much get away with telling them anything. And I told them that at the deli in the morning, if the sausages got a little slimy, which would happen over time in the trays, before we would open, because I would get there early, I would grab the sausages out of the trays, and I would clean them with some salt water underneath the faucet. Or I would rub them with some salt and then clean them off underneath the faucet, and then put it back in a clean tray on top of some tissue paper and let the water kind of drain off and pat them dry and stuff. So my first boss affectionately called me the official wiener cleaner at the deli. I hated her so much for that, but it was so good. Or no, that wasn't my boss. That was my boss's son. I think he was 2 years older than me. I haven't kept tabs on that whole family since like 2014, so I honestly can't remember. But I think he was 2 years older than me, and yeah, he was like, dude, it's like you're the official. Oh man, I got a great name, but you're gonna hate it. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're the wiener cleaner. I'm like, technically you're not wrong, because these are wieners and I am cleaning them, so, and I do it every single morning, so like, I can live with that. And oh man, that family had we had a whole lot of jokes. And then, oh god, I'm just gonna fast forward to the new owners, because the new owners and I had so much more fun than the first owner I worked for. First owner I worked for 5.5, just shy of 6 years. And then the new owners I worked for just shy of 3 years till when I closed. Oh god, I missed that place so much. And yeah, those two were so much fun. Husband-wife duo, never like owned a deli before, like didn't have any food experience, and they're like, we're just going to give it a go. And they did, and they succeeded, and the only reason they closed was because they got fucked over by the previous owner that I worked for, so that was really bullshit. No, it was just a lot of fun. And then there was like one instance where we were in the kitchen and we were making, I don't remember what, but the fact that I remember these couple memories in particular are truly shocking, because it was in 2013 to 2017, that span of time that I just don't remember because I was drinking so heavily. Because I was just telling a friend last week, like, the span of 2013 and 2017, I don't remember 90% of it. Like legitimately, you could be like, oh, how was Libertyville? I'd be like, I remember that it sucked and we got stolen from a lot, but like, I don't remember the layout that well. I don't remember where the office was. Like the actual like memories of that whole time it's just not there. Which is like crazy to me. But but I remember we were making some kind of meat dish where I had to uncase a sausage that was like it was like this big, and it was like this big around. And I was like, how the fuck do I encase this? So I remember I slit the casing, and then I had like on the table in front of me, and oh man, I don't want to get flagged, so I'm just going to paint the mental image for you, and I don't want to gross anybody out, but it was just really funny. So I had the idea, because it was on the table in front of me, to brace it against my body. not thinking that to brace it against my body, it's going to be kind of jammed up against, it's in the casing, all right? And I was wearing like an apron and everything, so shut it. But it was like brace it against my body. And where it was positioned was a little, I didn't really think about it that much. And when I went to go unsheath it, I went like this. Like, I mean, imagine that I'm standing up against the table, and I went like this, right down to my body, and I looked over at my boss, and I was like, don't you say it. Don't you say it. I know it. I'm already, and I took my hands off of it. I'm like, my hands are off my sausage. I mean, no. We just could not. I was dying laughing. It was just the stupidest thing. Because I was like, now I have to make a dish out of this and serve it to people? Like, I can't. I was like, oh, please don't tell me I'm driving this to the catering. And I'm pretty sure I drove it to the catering. So I was just like, so we got your, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was meatballs. I don't know. But it was just like, you know, which made it even funnier. I think that was what it was. Because I think at the end of it, I was like, well, I made that even funnier. Because we had sausage and balls. Like, you know, whatever. But I was like, oh my God. I just can't. It was too much there. And then we were making homemade whipped cream at one point, and we were using a hand mixer. And I remember she cranked it, and my boss cranked it up too high, and I was making a salad next to her. Our table to like make anything on was super small. It was like 3 feet by like 6 feet. It was the tiniest cooking table ever. So she was making homemade whipped cream and a carrot cake or something, and I was making, or cream cheese frosting maybe it was, and I was making a salad next to her for the deli case. And she was like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, go ahead and mix it. I'm like, okay. And she accidentally cranked the hand mixer up to like the highest setting. So a bunch of cream cheese frosting just whips out and smacks you right in the face, and it just like drips off. And I'm like, you're gonna say it, aren't you? Because, you know, there's just a bunch of white stuff on me, and, you know, I'm bi, so so she's just like, I can't say it, but I wanted to. And I'm like, just give me a paper towel. And I wiped it off, and I'm like, it does look delicious, though. She was just like, well, you taste the one that was on your face. I'm like, shut up. That was not cool. Like, don't do that. But it was, oh my God, that place was so much fun to work at. I mean, we just had like nonstop jokes. I remember when I worked there, like I would come there some days. Oh man, I would come there some days just to work like 2 to 5, like 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. just to make some salads for the counter, and then I would go over to the liquor store, and my boss would be like, hey, you want a couple beers while you're cooking? I'm like, sure. So I'd chug a couple beers while I was cooking in the kitchen with knives, you know, knives and peelers and shit, and then hop over to the liquor store, and then I'd like have a vodka and lemonade while I was over there, or whatever, you know, vodka and Sprite. I usually had Absolute Citron, so it was like lemon flavored vodka. So I'd usually have that with like Sprite or lemonade, and I would have that while I was working at the liquor store. So not a good time in my life when I was drinking back then, because I was literally drinking on the job. It was a bad time. But the good times were at the deli when, you know, gay jokes flew around left and right, and I just went along with them. But I think one of the funniest moments has nothing to do with the gay joke. So one of the funniest moments was, well, it wasn't funniest moments. It was actually kind of a gross moment, but it was something that I will never forget, because I think it was my first year I ever worked there. So I was like 16, 17 years old. And we had one ceiling tile that, I know this sounds boring to begin with, just, it's going to get somewhere, so just follow along, or keep with it. We had one ceiling tile that would always leak, or always collect water, I should say. We had those, like, if you've seen, like, they're like in doctor's offices mainly. It's like those ceiling tiles that are like 2 feet by 4 feet, and they have like, it looks like they have little speckles in them, and then, you know, sometimes you'll if you get bored, you can count them back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that one's big. That one's small. You know, and it's like a speckled ceiling tile. Well, we had those in the deli, and we had like spares in the back, and I was like, why do we have spare ceiling tiles? She was like, oh, but you're gonna find out, because I forgot to change out the bucket above that ceiling tile, and it's collecting water. So the ceiling tile, instead of being flat like this, was bowed like this, and it's made of like asbestos. I mean, well, not asbestos, but it's made of like a chalky material, so it's not Not good for supporting water. It was like a foam ceiling tile. I remember one day I went into work, and because back then when I was in high school, I would work after work from like 4 to 6, and I remember she said like, "Oh, you need to get up there and switch out the bucket." Now that I have somebody tall that works here, because I was like 5'10" back then. Now I'm 6'1", so or maybe 5'9", whatever. I was taller back then. Even then, I should say, when I was like 16, 17 years old. And so I'm standing on top of the deli counter, on like in the front of the deli. I'm standing on the deli counter, like where we make people sandwiches. I'm standing on it. I used a ladder, got on the counter, and I lift up the ceiling tile next to the one that's bowing, and I see the bucket, because there was like a little bucket we kept on the bracket that held like the frame that separated the two ceiling tiles, or that separated ceiling tiles. There was like a frame. We would balance a bucket on the frame to collect water, because it would always leak. Thanks, landlord. Don't ever fix our ceiling. Just put a bucket in the ceiling. Like, oh my god, it was such a nightmare. So we had to switch that bucket out every once in a while. And she forgot to, so it overflowed. So I remember I reached up to grab the bucket from the tile next to it, and I grabbed the bucket, and it dumped out on me. Because I accidentally leaned it over the frame, and the whole bucket just tipped over, and all this water, gross rainwater from the roof that's leaking through the roof into our ceiling, got all over me. And I'm like 16, 17 years old. I'm like, oh, gross. So she was just like, well, you still have to replace the ceiling tile. I'm like, yeah. So, not thinking, completely already drenched in water, in an apron, in a t-shirt, in just jeans and sneakers, and this is after school, so I'm already like, work sucks, school sucks, whatever. I'm making like $30 a week, because, I was working like 3 days a week at minimum wage. I go to lift up the ceiling tile, and I'm not thinking, this has a ton of water in it. I should have just poked a hole in it and let the water drain out. Instead, I just try to lift the ceiling tile up from both sides. And in the middle, where the water is bowing, it splits. And all this water just comes pouring back on me. But the ceiling tile is in both my hands. I have 2 pieces of ceiling tile in my hands. Water's pouring on me. And then just this like foamy, asbestos-looking crap just gets all over my arms, all over my body. And I literally just turned around to my boss, and I was like, I hate you so much. Now I understand why you wanted me to do this. And she's like, I kind of knew that was going to happen. I didn't want it to be me. I'm like, you're a bitch. Like, this is bullshit. So I remember I changed out the tile, and then I put the bucket back up there, and I was like, I need to go home. And then she was like, well, I just need you for like 2 more things, and then we got to close up, and then you're done. And I'm like, I am drenched from head to toe. Like, I'm going home. So I went home, and she was mad and whatever. And then the very last one, I don't want to make like, I don't even remember who this guy was, but it was just it was a very gross instance where I was being a good person, helping. We had like a bathroom in the back of our deli that was just for us, but like if a customer was like, I need to go so badly, like we were like, go ahead and use it. And this little old man was using the bathroom, and he starts screaming from the back, because it was around the corner from the kitchen. We had our fan going full blast, so I start hearing, help me, I need help. And I'm like, oh shit, he's having a heart attack or something. But I'm like, he wouldn't be able to scream like that. So anyways, so I go back there, and he's on the toilet, and he's like, I can't get up, I forgot my cane. I'm like, damn it. So my boss is like, just go hold him up. I'm like, great. So I'm, again, like 16, 17 years old, helping out a guy off the toilet. So, again, at the time, not as good Samaritan as I am now. And I go to help him off the toilet, and I was like, here, hook your arm into mine. And he hooks his arm into mine, and I go to help him up. And then he goes to spin around, and as he spins around, he bends over, and he unloads a little bit more than he'd had in the tank, and just unloads it, and it shoots out and gets all over my pants. And I was like, and he just turns back around to me. He's like, oh, God bless you, I'm so sorry, but God bless you for helping me up. I'm like, so I out to the deli, and my boss looks at me and goes, "How did you shit on your own pants in the front?" I'm like, "You think this is my own shit? You think somehow I shit on my own pants in the front? Spray shit, by the way, on the front of my own pants. Like, this is not mine. This is that guy that I just helped off the toilet." And she was like, "Oh. And I'm like, "How did you not put this together quicker?" And I was like, "I'm going to go home and change. I'll be back in like an hour after I shower and change, and then shower and change again, because I can't. I'm just going to burn these clothes." And then she's like, "Well, we're having a mad rush right now." I'm like, "I am covered in poop. I'm going home." And she was like, "Well, I guess so, if you really need to." I'm like, "Fuck you. I'm going home to change." That deli was full of fun and weirdness, but it was nothing comparison to where I work now. But in the weirdness department, I mean. But the fun, I mean, that deli was so much fun. I remember I used to climb into like it was like a 56-gallon bag we used or 55-gallon, whatever it is, bag we used for the front of the deli, for like all of our scraps and all of our used papers and whatnot. And I remember one day we went to go change them at the end of the day, and my boss was like busy doing paperwork or something like that, and she was like, "Oh, I'll take out the trash in a few minutes, just if you can bundle it up." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna get her good." And I remember her daughter was there that day because she was like 30. I think I was I must have been 18 at the time. I still have the picture. I still have the picture somewhere. I wonder if I still have it on my phone somewhere. I actually have it on Instagram. I think I posted that on Instagram. Like, my boss said she'd take the trash out of work, and I got into a 55-gallon trash bag, and my boss's daughter just kind of like not tied it up, but like, buttoned up the top enough so she couldn't see that I was in it. Do I still have it in here? Did I delete that? Oh man, deleted it. That was really funny. Well, here's me from the deli. There's me. That's I believe that's like 20-year-old me. If you can see the photo. Okay. I my camera manual focus, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see me that well. But wearing the apron that I still have today that has a six-pack German dude on it. Because I worked at a German deli. July 8th, 2013. So I was 21. Yeah, that deli was a whole lot of fun for me. Oh, so I got into that 55-gallon bag. I don't have the picture readily available, and she like kind of just down up the top, and then when my boss went to go lift it up, it went like rah out of the bag, and she was like, "You motherfucking piece of shit!" And I was like, that probably didn't scare you that much, and she was like, "I had no idea you were in the bag. I didn't know you could fit in the bag." I'm like, "I'm like 150 pounds and I'm pretty limber, so yeah, I can get in there." Not limber anymore, by the way. No fucking way. But like, but it was just a really funny prank to pull on my boss, especially when she drove me crazy. But yeah, I had a whole lot of fun at that deli. I really miss it. I have plans. They've been backtracked to probably like 2026 when my bankruptcy falls off my report. Because until then, I'm not going to be able to get a loan off from the bank. Without there being some heavy interest. I don't want that. So wait until the bankruptcy falls off the report. Until then, I'm saving, I'm gathering ideas, and well, I'm going to try to save if I can ever get my health on track here. But I have plans to open a food truck in like 2026ish, so I'll be 34. I say that like it's a depressing fact. It's not. Like, 34 is great. But I already have like a menu. I already have like what I want to do. I already have what my aim is. I already know that I want to bring back the German food that I already make, every few months or so. I'm going to try to make that more often too, just because I love it and I miss it. And my own creations, my own chicken salad, and I have a few other food dishes too. And maybe I'll make them and show them to you on one of these videos someday. Because it's a lot of fun for me to cook. and that food truck idea is something that I really want to happen. And last year, I really had to lock into investors for an actual storefront, but then my health happened and everything went to shit. So now I'm back to, let's wait a few years, let's get my health right, and then go back to the dream. The dream is not dead, it's just on hold. So that is my dream, is to open up my own food truck. I think it's going to be a food truck, not a storefront. That way I can travel around and give a variety of people these tasty foods. But yeah, that deli was so much fun, and man, I have a lot of fun stories from that deli. I know that these weren't like the most fun stories, but I just need to have a laugh. I hope that hope that somebody's watching this video and getting a laugh. Sorry for the shit story at the very end. That kind of ruined the mood. You know, I'm talking about food and water in the ceiling, and then I end with shit. A little weird. But you know, it's important to laugh and important to have fun in life, despite the obstacles and the challenges you face every day. And I'm playing with the dog rod by my feet, by the way. That's why my whole body's moving. But yeah, it's important to laugh, important to have fun, important to not take life for granted, and to enjoy what you can, to remember the memories that make you laugh and smile, and think about just happiness and good times, and not the stress of everything you're dealing with right now. But at the same time, the stress you're dealing with right now, whoa, just flipped the weight over and it hit the foot of my chair, almost hit my ankle. That would have been bad. Sorry for that noise. But anyways, that's it for this week's video. Next week I'm going out to lunch with a family friend on Wednesday, so I'll try to post on Thursday. Just everybody... I'll try to post on Thursday, and then that following Wednesday, I'm going back to days because overnights were just obliterating me, so I'm not doing that anymore. I need to get my sleep right, especially when I start physical therapy in a few weeks. But I just want to kind of close off this video with something that's a little bit more sentimental and meaningful. That try not to see every failure, or every one failure, one obstacle, one misfortune, one little hiccup in your life as a complete failure of something that you were aiming for. Because every hurdle that you hit, because like life isn't going to be perfect, every hurdle you hit is leading you towards something better. Or could potentially be leading you towards something better. So, you know, try to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than an opportunity to, or rather than a failure. Because everybody's journey is different, and you know, nobody's journey is the same, and it's like we're all on different roller coasters. Like some people are riding the baby coaster where it's like woo, like okay, it's fine, whatever, and then some people are on the Velocicoaster, where the fuck it's called, where it's got twists and turns and dips and dives and goes upside down, and then it has, you know, malfunctions, and then it stops, and then you have to wait for somebody to repair it. I don't know where I was going with this metaphor, but I kind of started rambling, and I just kind of went with it. So this isn't going. Just know that everybody's journey is different, and no one obstacle is going to completely destroy your life. Like, it's just not going to happen. So just see obstacles as a way for you to grow, rather than for you to or for you to take a step back and just say, you know, should I be doing something different? But don't just stop and just wallow in the mud and be like, well, this failed, so now I failed. Like, that's not how life works. One thing goes wrong, you can't look at it as everything is going wrong. However, with mental health issues, with anxiety, depression, PTSD, just any sort of mental illness that kind of tricks your mind into thinking that one problem is 1,000 problems, it's not that easy for a lot of people. So when you see that person that says, like, oh, I got a flat tire today, now my whole week is fucked because now I don't have a car for a week. It's like, you know, I don't know how to change spare tires, and I have to call AAA, and I don't have roadside service, and I have to pay somebody, and you know, it can spiral their mind into something completely terrible off of just one minor problem. So don't judge those people or try not to judge those people that are struggling with just one minor hiccup, but also try not to see one minor hiccup as the world ending, essentially. But I just kind of wanted to leave off, or kind of wanted to close out with that, because I've been thinking a lot about what's been going on in the past few weeks and trying not to see these little, I mean, well, granted, might having cancer is a big hiccup, but, you know, seeing little hiccups as blowing it out of proportion, trying to wrangle that in, and trying to be more connected with myself, and trying to be more content with what I have, and what I have right now, and what situations I'm in right now, and knowing that they're real, and knowing that I can't really change what I've done in the past, just trying to change what I can do in the future. And, you know, I'm trying to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than an opportunity to keep, rather than just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen. Yeah, so with all that being said, you know, just everybody try to take care of yourselves, and tell someone today you care about them, because you just never know when your last day is up. And that's not to be morbid, it's just to be realistic. You just never know. Sorry, just checking one thing. You just never know, and I don't want anybody to ever have that regret of not telling that someone, you know, yesterday or 2 days ago or a week ago that they cared about them because they thought they were too busy or whatever. Just tell them. Just tell them, hey, I was just thinking about you right now, and I care about you, buddy. I do it with my friend Matt pretty much every single day. I'll text him. Well, I used to. I mean, I got to do it more often now. But, you know, whether they know it or not, you know, let them know. You don't have to tell them, like, I confess my love for you. You don't have to do that shit. But just tell them you care about them. Tell them that you're thinking about them. Yeah, I wanted to leave off something that was a little more sentimental, because I try to be more serious in these videos now, because at the beginning it was kind of more all fun and games. And all fun and games, but like, I got to a point where I was more complacent with telling funny stuff, because the serious stuff kind of scared me, because I didn't know how I'd feel afterwards. But I realized now it's not about me, it's about helping others, and that's what I want to do. I don't know if this channel is ever going to grow to be something where I can reach a bigger audience and help other people to a bigger extent. And there are some YouTubers out there, like actual YouTubers, like I'm not a YouTuber, but like I'm on YouTube, not a YouTuber. Get that right. I got that right, that's what I meant. Not telling everybody, like, get that right. Like, no, I was telling myself, I got that right. But there are YouTubers that'll say, like, these people that are, like, sharing their personal experiences, hoping to help others, like, they're stupid. And I'm like, I don't feel the same. Because, you know, there's a really powerful quote that I read a few years ago that I really feel strongly about, and it said, maybe you went through it so you could help somebody else get through it. Or maybe you survived it so you could help someone else get through it. Something like that. And I said it was a really powerful quote, and I can't even remember exactly what the quote was. It was like, maybe you survived it so you could help somebody else get through it. I think that's what the quote was. So I try to take that and use it. You know, I don't try to just sit with all of these things that I've had happen with me, and just like sit with it and be like, yeah, that's my life. Like, I want to share those experiences to hopefully help other people through similar situations, so that they don't feel as bogged down as I did, so I don't feel as trapped as I did. But also just to spread awareness. Like, these are very real things that are happening to people every single day, that will continue to happen for the rest of time, because they're just never going to go away 100%. At least not in our lifetimes. You know, it's just something that's going to keep happening. But I want to spread awareness of these issues that people may not see very clearly, or that people may not see very openly, like on YouTube. And I want to share my story, because I'm sitting in my parents' house in, you know, a suburb of Chicago, and I'm not famous. You know, I work at Walgreens. It's just, you know, I just want to see what I can do to help others, and hopefully it does. But I don't do this for selfish reasons. I don't do it like, I need the gratitude. Everybody message me and make sure that you tell me that I'm helping you. Like, no. I hope that I'm doing that. I'm going to keep sharing my stories, and I just hope that it's doing that. Like, that's it. That's all I'm doing it for. But I'm also doing it kind of as my own therapy. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. Like, I'm doing it as my own therapy and helping others in the process, hopefully. You know, I don't need the satisfaction of knowing that that's happening. That's not why I do this. Definitely not why I'm doing it. Never have, never will. But I have talked for like an hour now, so I'm going to shut up and go away. Until next week, everybody have a great week. Tell someone you care about them today, and take care of yourselves this week. And thank you again for your love and support for these for this unreal, unreal reactions the past couple weeks to these videos. Thank you again for your love and support, and I'll see you right next week with something new. Hopefully, we'll see.